Some places on Earth feel like they were never meant for life. Death Valley, the hottest, driest, and most desolate place in North America, is one of them. Temperatures can climb above 56 degrees Celsius, the air burns your lungs, and the horizon plays tricks on your eyes. And yet, one man somehow survived being stranded there for days, without food, water, or shelter. This is the story of Henry Woodinton, the man who walked out of Death Valley, when everyone else thought he was gone forever. It was July 1993, one of the hottest summers ever recorded. Henry Woodinton, a 40-year-old experienced hiker from Oregon, had always been fascinated by extreme landscapes. He'd read about the salt flats, ghost towns, and abandoned mines of Death Valley, and decided to explore them alone. He planned carefully: a map, a jeep with extra fuel, gallons of water, and a radio. He told his wife he'd be back in 2 days. But as every explorer knows, nature doesn't care about your plans. On his second day, while heading toward the remote Panamint Dunes, Harry's map began to fail him. A flash flood weeks earlier had wiped out a road, forcing him onto a dry riverbed. It looked like solid ground, until his jeep sank in. Within minutes, his tires were buried in sand. He tried to dig out, but the sun was already climbing. The temperature reached 52 degrees Celsius, the kind of heat that can cook an egg on metal. When he turned off the engine, silence swallowed him whole. No cell signal. No nearby towns. Just endless golden death. He rationed his water, 1 sip every hour. He slept inside the jeep, windows slightly cracked. The night brought cold winds, and strange noises echoed from the desert: the creaking of rocks, distant coyotes, and the sound of something brushing against the vehicle. He tried the radio the next morning. Static. By the third day, his last water bottle was half empty, and hallucinations had begun. He thought he saw an old miner standing far off in the distance, waving him toward a mountain ridge. When he blinked, the man was gone. He had 2 choices. Stay with the car and hope someone passed by, which could take weeks. Or walk toward the mountains, where he might find shade, or death. He chose to walk. He wrapped his head with a shirt, stuffed a wet rag under his hat, and took his last bottle of water. At dawn, he began walking, following the sun's shadow west. Every step felt heavier. By noon, the soles of his boots began to melt slightly from the scorching ground. He counted his steps to keep from going insane. 100 steps, pause. 100 more. Hours passed. His lips cracked, and his throat was raw. He stopped sweating, a deadly sign. He began talking to himself, then to his wife, then to God. At one point, he saw what looked like a lake glimmering in the distance. He ran toward it, fell to his knees, and found nothing but salt and dust. He screamed, but no sound came out. As the sun began to set, he stumbled upon a small cave carved into the side of a cliff. Inside, the temperature dropped drastically, maybe 20 degrees Celsius cooler. He collapsed inside, shivering. When he woke up hours later, he heard something, the faint sound of dripping water. He crawled deeper and found moisture collecting on the stone wall. He licked the rocks like an animal, catching drops on his tongue. That single discovery saved his life. He rested there for 2 days, gathering strength, drinking from the condensation, and praying. He used the reflective side of a broken mirror from his backpack to flash light toward the sky during the day. On the 3rd morning, as he prepared to move again, he heard the distant rumble of an aircraft. A rescue team, searching from above? It turned out that a ranger had found Harry's jeep days earlier and guessed the direction he might have gone. When rescuers spotted a flashing light from the cave entrance, they circled back. Henry was found kneeling on the ground, weak, sunburned, but alive, 5 days after he vanished. Doctors later said he should have died within 48 hours. His body was severely dehydrated, Yet somehow, he'd held on. Reporters called it a miracle in the desert. When asked how he survived, Harry simply said, "The desert doesn't forgive mistakes. It just waits for them. But if you stay calm, it might give you one chance." He never hiked alone again, but he also never feared nature afterward. For him, Death Valley was no longer just a place of death. It was proof that the human will can push past the impossible. Some people say miracles are rare. But sometimes, survival itself is the miracle. Henry Woodinton walked through a place designed to end life, and came back stronger than ever. If this story gave you chills, or inspired you, don't forget to like and subscribe to True Mystery Vault. Because here, we uncover the world's most unbelievable, but true, stories. See you in the next mystery.